Corey James is the founder and CEO of Painting Pictures, Inc., which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to making an impact in the lives of disadvantaged youth. Now, he's dedicated and devoted his life and career to directly serving at-risk youth in urban communities as a youth mentor and motivational speaker. Now, in his newly released book, Painting Pictures, Refreshing the World of Inner City Youth, he discusses the importance of mentoring inner city youth, providing them with role models and overcoming the cycle of violence endemic to their lives. Now, the book has received endorsements from many prominent people, including Dr. Cornel West. We now welcome, not Cornel West, but author Corey James to the show. Welcome to Urban Update.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Glad you came.
Absolutely.
Good timing.
Yes,
with the summer here.
Yeah.
Something like this is perfect timing for folks in our community. And I want to kind of start off with, you're trying to break the cycle of inner city youth. So tell me, even before, what cycle are you talking about specifically?
Well, there is a cycle of poverty, a cycle of violence, a cycle where we see constant generational cycles of our young people not graduating high school, not becoming successful as we know that they can become, the cycle of incarceration, the cycle of homicide. So there are tragic, negative cycles that are happening every day in our communities.
And it's happening, as you said, generational, right?
Generational, yeah. So it's not just the young person that I'm working with, but it's also their parents, their grandparents, and now this has become the norm, and I like to call it an unfortunate norm.
So it has.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So, you say that to break the cycle, you also have to understand what they're going through.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think there is a misconception of our society that our young people are just defiant, that they're just delinquent, that they're just quote unquote bad. But the misconception is that we don't understand what they have been through. They have been through some serious trauma. And I like to compare it to a soldier going off to war. And when a soldier goes off to war, they see so much bloodshed, they hear gunshots, they hear bombs going off, and they cannot come back and remain quote unquote regular, whatever that is. So our young people are also seeing so much in the community, and how do we expect them to be regular if they have witnessed all of that and it does not impact their lives?
Yeah, and something I saw you mention in another interview, the expectation, their own self-expectations.
Yeah.
You talked about young kids being 16, 17, saying, I don't know, I got maybe 5 years to live, 10 years to live.
Yeah, because that is a societal expectation now. And it's not just our young people. Unfortunately, sometimes it's their parents. And I have a devastating story that's in the book where I go to the funeral of a 16-year-old. And I'm at the funeral and I arrive to the casket of this young man that I've worked with for several years. And his mom is there and I embrace her. And I feel like she could say so much to me, but what she says is, I did not expect this so soon. And that totally, I'm grieving on one level, and now I'm grieving on a whole nother front, because she reminds me that this was an expectation on some level. I didn't expect it today at 16, but perhaps next year, perhaps in a couple of years, because it is so normal for parents and mothers to bury their kids now.
All right, so how do you break this cycle?
We must break the cycle, number one, by ensuring that we provide mentorship and a level of support for our young people. Because the reason they're joining the gangs, the reason they're in violent atmospheres and environments is because they don't have people that are causing them to shift their thinking, to reframe their world. Yeah, so all they're doing is what they know.
Yeah, and sometimes you mention it, right? It's, their parents are not the best role models, because this has gone through a cycle of generations. So they're only kind of examples of their parents. Sometimes they're not the right parents. They don't have a family member. So all the more important for mentoring and role model, right?
Absolutely. It is so normal for us to become a product of our environment. We do what we see, whether that's negative or positive. So if they see negativity every day, that's what they're going to shift their life into as well.
All right, so as a motivational speaker and as someone who's living this, what is kind of the basics? What would you want our audience? Let's put our, let's put our audience to the test here and say, what would you want someone viewing to say, okay, I want to do my part? What would be someone's part on television right now watching?
So number one is understanding the trauma that our young people are going through and their need to be exposed to something different. Because like I said, I've been in groups and I've heard young people say that this is a dead end, this is a trap for my life. But giving them them the exposure to know you can be successful. Perhaps it's through a college visit, showing them the practical of experiences of actually being successful in life. I like to take kids out to fine dining, taking them to different geographic locations, showing them people that they would have never met before, simply because it changes the trajectory of their lives.
And in a way,
Yeah.
it's showing them a little bit about kind of, you were fortunate, we were fortunate that we had parents and you didn't live that life, so you weren't at risk,
Yeah.
but you can connect to these kids just because you're opening up to them.
Absolutely. And for me, what has made me successful is because I didn't have that life. And coming into this role, it was very intimidating for me, because I'm like, what can I really say to this young person if I really haven't had the experiences that they've had? So what I do is just be me. I just believe that I have to be genuine, I have to be compassionate, I have to really be invested in their future, and that's when they see that this person is the real deal, and he'll stay with me, he'll stick with me, and then they begin to change. And it takes a while sometimes.
Your name is Corey James.
Yes, sir.
The book is Painting Pictures. I want a shot of that book.
Yeah.
Go out and get this book, continuous conversation. Hopefully Corey has got you all a little motivated. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having
Jersey
me.
boy,
Absolutely.
right there.
Yes,
all
sir.
right, thank you so much. That's it for this edition of Urban Update. But before we go, a special shout out to our faithful viewers at Jay's Dry Cleaners in Revere. And no, I'm not doing this to get my dry cleaning for free. They just watch the show every Sunday. So for all of us here at Urban Update, I am Alberto Vasallo. Have a great Sunday, everyone.